Yeah, it was University of Iowa football. I was there for the 2023 fall season, so in season. And yeah, it is kind of surreal because I go watch those guys play on Saturdays. So the last 3 years, I was going to games and I was like, let's go, rooting for these guys. But it's cool to see that, like, in the weight room, everybody's at the same level and everybody's trying to work hard. The priority is to prevent injury, right? You can't play your sport and be good at it if you physically can't get out in the field and play. I just want to keep getting better, and I'm getting better by coaching and by being with my teams, but I'm also getting better behind the scenes by learning and brainstorming. I know that I'm confident in what I do. They are working hard and they want to succeed, and it's cool to see them succeed because I care about it. So, and that's why this job's so fun. Don't be afraid to try new things and be confident. Like, at some point you might fall flat in your face and something might not work out well, but you're gonna learn so much from that. I wish I could do that more. Cut that part out.
Welcome to the world of sports. My name is Louis Helm and I'm a student and soccer player at Grandview University. Each week, I sit down with athletes and professionals from across the sports industry to talk about their careers and their paths into sports, but also their beliefs, values, and perspectives. My guest in the 9th episode is Ethan Horner. Ethan is a strength and conditioning coach at Grandview University and took his first steps in the profession at the University of Iowa. In our conversation, Ethan shares his experiences of interning in one of the nation's most highly regarded strength and conditioning departments and how studying is different at a school with over 30,000 people. We also dive into the workings of strength and conditioning, his approach, and what he enjoys most about his job. Now, here's my conversation with Ethan Horner. Ethan, thank you for taking the time today.
Yep.
I really look forward to this. I want to just jump straight into it and ask you what excites you about being a strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say that the reason I got into it, I wasn't exactly sure right away, but I took a chance. I had a couple friends who told me, hey, I think you like this. So I went and checked it out. And right away, I was like, yeah, this is it for me. And the biggest reason is just you get to interact with people on a day-to-day basis, and you get to help people. It's really cool to be able to see people progress, meet their goals, and to be able to trust you with stuff that's going to help them in their future and their athletic goals, as well as just helping them in general. Sometimes a coach isn't just there to get you stronger, but you might need them for something else, and that's what's really cool about it, the relationships that you're able to build when you're working with different athletes and different teams, which is cool.
Do you have an idea why your friends thought that you'd be good in that position?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really asked him. I've been around sports my whole life, and I love being around sports, and I guess I'm somewhat of a people person, which you don't have to be a people person to be in this industry, but I think it helps as far as gaining trust and starting those relationships, and it's high activity, and I'm an active person, and you have to be active, ready to go all day, every day. So I don't know, but I'm really glad that my friend did reach out and was like, hey, there's this opportunity. I think you should go take it and give it a shot. And it worked out because it worked out with my major. I was an exercise science major. And everything just worked out. Because originally I was thinking physical therapy was my original route. I did some work at a physical therapy clinic. I was like, I don't know if I love it. Not enough for another 4 years of college, for sure. But yeah, I'm really glad that my friend reached out for that.
That's funny because I found when I was doing a little bit of research an old LinkedIn profile of yours.
Oh yeah.
Where it said trying to get into physical therapy.
Yeah, I guess I haven't updated that in a while. I haven't been on there. Yeah, it's probably still on that. Yeah.
You talked about the opportunity that opened up and that your friends encouraged you to take. What exactly was that?
Yeah, I think it was fall of 2023. So in that summer before, it was an internship at Iowa University football, which my friend was involved with the team actively, and he was more on the football side of things, but he noticed that the internship was open. He knew my degree was in exercise science, and he thought it was the right fit for me. gives me a call and is like, hey, if you want to apply for this, I'll go check in with the coaches for you. And I think you do a good job at it. And yeah, it was University of Iowa football. I was there for the 2023 fall season, so in season from like August up until December. So it was a really good experience. I learned a lot, which was great.
Can you talk a little bit about what you learned specifically with such a high-profile football team?
Well, right away, I mean, University of Iowa football is it's a historic college program, and they're known for their strength and conditioning. They have a historic strength and conditioning program, and right away when I got there, throw you into the fire, you know how detailed and how much energy you have to bring every day, which is really important. I liked it. It was a hard adjustment to make right away. Like you jump right into it, you don't know what to expect, especially for me, that was my first strength and conditioning experience. But after you start getting involved and you start getting used to it, like all the different factors, like I would say originally I'm there, like I'm setting stuff up, I'm learning the equipment, I'm learning the movements. I wasn't just there as hands-on either. I was more of, they're going to teach me how they do things, right? They're really good about that. So I got to learn all of the core movements, all the different, not just lifts, but agility stuff. They teach that to you. I had a curriculum where I read about 13 books that they gave to me. Had to write a lot of essays on those, but super beneficial. I mean, all stuff that was important. I had to learn how to actually teach all these movements to coaches who have been around, who have done this and are masters at what they do. So that was big things that I learned. And then just watching them. I mean, you can learn so much just to see different coaching styles, what you think is effective, what isn't. And there's so many different ways. I mean, so many different coaching styles, but they're all effective in your own way, but you got to find out what's your coaching style going to be and how can you be most effective in the weight room. And just being able to see those guys work at their craft, the guys who have been around and know what they're doing, just seeing that was a huge learning experience, which is really, really cool.
How is the experience of working with people that are, I mean, at that point,
like almost celebrities, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. They didn't get paid at that point, but they were...
Right, almost professional athletes at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say this, especially about Iowa. I mean, the guys there are fantastic. Like, all the players there, like, really good guys there. Not only just hard workers, but, like, they were, like, welcoming. Like, I was, like, a new guy, new intern, and, like, I got to learn their names and meet them pretty quickly, right? And, yeah, it is kind of surreal because I go watch those guys play on Saturdays. The last 3 years I was going to games, and I was, like, let's go, rooting for these guys. And most of them, I mean, some of them, I'm going to get to see them play on Sundays in a couple of years, which is really cool. But it's cool to see that, like, in the weight room, I mean, everybody's at the same level and everybody's trying to work hard, right? So they're not there worried about their egos or anything. Like, they're there to work hard, and the coaches are there to show them how to get better. And I think that Iowa did, like, a fantastic job of, like, we're here to help you guys and get better. And I think they understood that, and it wasn't like, I don't know, like, how it is now, like, with players actually getting paid. But I would assume just the way that organization was run, like, I don't think that would ever be an issue within Iowa, to be honest with you. And it all starts with, I mean, Kirk Ferentz is really good coach. So
yeah, I would imagine that even already starting with the recruiting, that is probably something that is very important.
Yep.
If you want to build something like that.
Really good guys there, that's for sure.
Damn, I wanted to speak about that later, but I guess we're just going to go for it right now because obviously you went to Iowa football on the weekends. We did that once last semester. That was
it's awesome.
Such a cool experience. For us, from a different country, when I speak with friends or so, it's always, when you imagine going to college here, you have those big-ass universities, you have a Project X party every weekend, you have the big football games with endless people there. How is the experience of going to a huge college for your undergrad?
Yeah, it's definitely different than here at Grandview, but it's really exciting, and there's a lot more buzz, I guess, like in the city. I mean, you walk around campus, you're going to see 5,000 students every day. You're just walking around, which is cool. I think you can take it both ways. I mean, you go to a big school, you get the big experience, have a big city around, a lot of places to go, a lot of events to see, obviously sporting events, not just football, basketball, other stuff like that. But yeah, like at Grandview, it's really cool being able to meet like the majority of people here. Like it's cool. I think it's easier to make relationships at a smaller school. Honestly, it's hard when there's 200 kids in your lecture, and it's like, well, whoever you sit by, I mean, you might meet a couple people, but it was, yeah, these huge lectures and not as much discussion like within the classroom, which is cool about the classes here.
Did you live on campus there?
My freshman year actually was COVID, so I ended up living at home. My whole freshman year was all online, but then me and my friends got a house probably about 5 or 6 blocks away from campus, and then my last 2 years I was in an apartment right next to campus, which was better. If you're going to go to a big college, get a place right next to campus if you can, because it's not fun walking in the winter to your classes.
Especially in Iowa.
Yeah.
Were the sporting events the highlights?
Like the best ones I went to?
Yeah.
The best one I went to was definitely the Penn State-Iowa game. Both teams were undefeated, and it was a night game in Kinnick Stadium. I mean, the place was just electric. I think Penn State had like 5 or 6 false starts because of how loud the fans were there. And, yeah, I mean, that was a huge upset at that point. Iowa fans were thinking, we're going to the national title. That didn't happen. But, I mean, that experience when you beat the number 2 or 3 team in the country, whatever it was, that was probably the coolest experience I had.
Yeah, it's funny. The game we went to was also Penn State versus Iowa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a good game, too, this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
really,
what was it, halftime? We missed a field goal, and they returned it?
Yeah.
And
they were up kind of a lot, and then they had a crazy comeback.
Yep.
Is the Saturday football games, when you're going to such a big school, something you look forward to the whole week, or does it get kind of regular at some point?
You definitely feel it creeping up throughout the week. It's like, oh, we're almost there. We're almost to Saturday, because when it gets to Saturday, it's like a whole event. I mean, you're up early. I mean, try to go to sleep early on Friday night so you can get up at 6 a.m. and walk down to the stadium where all your friends are at, all the tailgates are at. I had a bunch of friends from high school whose parents would come down, set up a tailgate, and then it's just kind of an all-day affair. I mean, you're out there having fun with your friends, getting ready for the game. I mean, not a lot beats that. I wish I could do that more now that I'm up here, but I haven't been out in a while.
That's a funny part of the fan culture here that like doesn't exist in Europe.
Really?
So it's, yeah, when we went to our first football games and we had all of that, like especially at Iowa State, Iowa, the big ones, where you have like tailgates that are surrounding the stadium everywhere, and it's so much, like
Big
it
deal.
seems endless.
Yep.
That's such a cool thing to have like around the whole, and how connected everybody is, and how many alumni actually still care for the university. That's pretty special.
Do you care if I ask you a question quick?
Go for it.
Do they have they have colleges in Europe, but do they have college sports that are like, they're just not a big deal, or do they have them?
It's easier to say that they don't have them. The actual highest level of sports is never tied to university. Okay. So yeah, nearly always when I speak with people from back home, we end up having this discussion about why it is such a big thing here and why it doesn't exist in Europe. Yeah. And I think it's really just a cultural thing, and the way it works here is just so rooted in history, kind of, that is just, that it's uncomprehendable if you're from Europe how big of a deal college sports is here, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And there it's just, there it's nothing. Apart from the sports, you said the classes are really big. How was, I guess, the academic experience at such a big school, also compared to how it is here? You said the classes, but also like the whole surrounding.
I would say that my experience was good, but it got a lot better once I realized once I knew what I wanted to do. Like once I knew I wanted to get into strength and conditioning, and especially like those last couple semesters where I was taking classes where like directly reflected stuff that I wanted to know and need to know to be good at what I want to do. So that got me a lot more invested in the work that got put in for that. And like those last couple classes, you had like, instead of a discussion, it was more of like a lab component. You go in there, we got to use a ton of different equipment, try a ton of different tests, like learn all the tests that you might need to implement as someone who's getting into exercise science related stuff, which is good. And I've utilized some of that stuff, a lot of that stuff, not just knowledge stuff, but I've tried some of the tests that we learned there. So I was able to directly apply it, which is cool because sometimes I feel like sometimes school stuff you're not able to directly apply into the work, but that stuff, especially those last couple semesters, like helped me out a lot, I think.
Was it a lot of like physiology, anatomy stuff?
Yeah, I think that was part of it, but like those, specifically the ones I'm talking about, were more like exercise, like testing, like rep ranges, and then like stuff like body fat testing. Like I think we went through like 4 out of the 5 majorly used body fat testing things, and they had some good equipment that we were able to use for that. But also like exercise tests, like stuff that you test like normal citizens to see where they're at on like a physical scale, and then also like athletic tests to see where they're at on a scale. And they had a bunch of charts where you can go in and see like the percentiles and stuff based off of the results. Don't have those memorized, but it's cool to know those tests because it kind of gives you like a baseline of like what's important to look for. I mean, for athletes, but also for any person that you would work with who wants to get physically fit.
How long did you intern at Iowa?
That was just like 4.5 months. I think I got there like middle of August before school started, whenever their fall camp started for football, and then I was there until Christmas, when they left for the bowl game. So yeah, like 4.5 months.
And was that in your senior year?
No, that would have been my junior year. Yeah, my junior year. And then because it was such a time-consuming internship, I ended up having to push everything back. So I had 4.5 years at Iowa.
And after the internship, did you stay in any way connected to working in strength and conditioning, or was it just...
I mean, it's definitely important to like make connections with people in the industry, and I've stayed in contact with some of those guys. Great resources, I mean, very knowledgeable. So yeah, I try to reach out every once in a while and stay in touch because it's very valuable connections, and you're always trying to make new connections, especially in this industry. Like, it's important to know people, not just because it could help you in the future career-wise, but it's also nice to have like somebody to go to if you have a question, because I mean, there's a lot of questions that come up. I mean, even on a daily basis where you're like, I don't know if I should do this or this, what I want to try out, and it's nice to be able to have resources like that where I can just make a phone call, send a text, and get some good advice. So yeah, I think it's important.
Between starting your GA position here and the internship, did you do anything work-related to strength and conditioning?
Besides like staying updated on, like, I maybe write a couple books and lifting myself, like I wasn't actively working in anything strength and conditioning wise. I was just kind of focused like, all right, I know I want to do this, but I got to get my degree. I got to finish my degree, and got that done. And then it was like, okay, now I can start to get back into things. And yeah, luckily I was able to land an opportunity here right after I graduated, which was great.
Talking about trying stuff out on yourself, is that a thing for you that you're kind of that you're the guinea pig for ideas you have?
Yeah. I remember especially like before I started here, like I had wrote all my workouts and I was like, okay, I don't know. It's like my first time I'm writing all these workouts, and I'm like, well, I guess if I want to find out, I should just go do them. So yeah, especially at the beginning, I was like, all right, I got to roll through all these workouts that I just made, make sure everything feels right, everything's good to go. I know how to teach it properly, which I felt like I did. But I mean, it's going to be easier to teach if you know you can do it too. So yeah, I would say now I'm not actively doing every lift, but I do try out all the movements at least once, maybe not the same reps and sets. I kind of make my own program for myself, but I definitely will try out everything that I program. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, let's throw this in, and they'll be able to handle it, even though I don't know. I've never tried it. But, yeah, I like to try things out, see how it works. Sometimes I try stuff out and it doesn't work, so then I don't program it, which is great. That's why I do try it, trial and error.
That was going to be my question, if you had anything that you were trying
Yeah.
out and then it just turned out to be.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to get a little bit too creative with some stuff, and it's like, yeah, this just doesn't work. So I have to nix that and get into the next thing and find some other way to work it, work what I want to work.
Do you have an example that comes to your head?
Recently, the other day, I was trying to mess around with the glued ham machine, and I was like, what if we did something where instead of resistance, I had an assistance band. I tried tying it around and like holding on to this resistance band. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. It was so awkward, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this and try something different. But yeah, it's happened more than once. It's probably not the only time.
I mean, that's progress.
Yeah.
Trial and error. Funnily enough, you came to Grandview at the same time I came to
Yep.
Grandview too. How were the first impressions getting familiar with everything here after what you've known before?
Yeah, it was definitely a big change of scenery. A lot less people here, a lot smaller campus. And same thing as far as like the scale of the strength and conditioning at Iowa, which is like the biggest facility you've ever seen. And then you come here and it's a smaller facility, but it was really cool to be able to see like we can still get all the same work at in a smaller weight room with less equipment. You just got to get more creative, and that's why it is fun. Like, I mean, you can get more creative even though you have lack of equipment. So the adjustment was different. I mean, obviously, I was not programming anything at Iowa, but I was helping set stuff up, and I saw what they did, but I can't just plug and place what they did into Grandview. So I had to get creative, figure out how are they working the body at Iowa, how do I want to get the work in, but in a different way. So that was an adjustment there from the strength and conditioning side of things. And then as far as school, honestly, I kind of like the Grandview school. I mean, I'm not in as many classes as I was at Iowa, but I like the environment of a smaller group of people in a classroom. Like, I feel like I can get to know like pretty much everyone in my class, which is really cool. And have like serious, meaningful discussions, which is great and it's comfortable because if you get to know people, you can have more meaningful discussions, which is really cool.
Staying on the strength and conditioning topic, what I find super fascinating, especially in sports like football, where it's seemingly at least even more important than in other sports. What are the differences between people that play at Iowa and people that play at Grandview in like the most respectful way possible?
Yeah.
But there is obviously a difference.
Yeah, I would say that the athletes at Iowa, I mean, they're bigger. I mean, they have an advantage physically already, but I mean, when you come to Grandview football, I mean, we have great athletes here too. I mean, and it's not like we're lacking size. I don't know. I don't really know like the specific things to point to. I mean, Iowa obviously has really strong guys, but Grandview has really strong guys too. And obviously both teams have been successful. I mean, Grandview, we just won a national title in football. Honestly, like football-wise, like I was never really like locked in on just I want to coach football. I mean, I didn't really play football growing up, so I can't really speak to like what happens on the field. But physically, I mean, there's definitely physical differences, but both groups like have similar traits. I mean, they're going to work hard and they're going to make progress and they're going to make gains, and you're going to see freak athletes at both Iowa and you'll see some at Grandview too.
So then, probably a bit different to what I was thinking, is definitely also just football related stuff and not even just size and strength and that stuff.
I don't know like what goes into being a great football player. Like, I don't coach football. I'm there to keep guys healthy and increase athletic performance. I want them to be better at football, but it's through stuff that we can focus on at a physical level rather than like a skill level, I guess.
And how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you get them better?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, you can go into, I mean, depending on where you're at in the season, I mean, you're in the off season, maybe your goal is you want to get guys bigger, you want to put some mass on, and then you want to increase strength after that. But I think the biggest thing is the priority is to prevent injury, right? You can't play your sport and be good at it if you physically can't get out in the field and play. So, like, in order to do that, we're going to hit all the joints. Like, we're going to be working all the joints, all the different angles, making sure that we're not just working the same stuff over and over and over again, because that's not what's going to happen in your sport. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that your body can move throughout a game. We want to see if we can find those different ways and find a way to strengthen them and put the body in unique positions in order to be successful and prevent those injuries so that you're not shocked when that moment happens. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Another thing, like, I'm kind of talking about the strength side of things, but there's the conditioning, the agility side of things too. I mean, seeing if you're really strong, but you can't move, it really doesn't matter, right? So you got to be mobile, and you also have to be flexible are like two things. I mean, we're gonna in the warm-ups, like, we'll knock out mobility, some sort of stretching probably, and then activation, all things that are important. And like, every small thing matters. Like, when you're trying to go through a warm-up and you have good intentions, like, you're gonna get a lot out of it. Like, if you're able to mobilize every joint really effectively, that's like so important. Like, you want to be really strong, you're ready to go squat. Well, if you can't squat to a full range of motion, you're not going to get everything out of it that you could have done if you became mobile and if you got to your depth and get all the benefits out of that squat. And that's why it's not just about getting under the bar and lifting as much weight as you can. There's a lot more that goes into it, and it's important that you keep in mind the type of sport that's being played. But honestly, my personal view is that you want to create good athletes overall.
You really never work on like isolated movements. It's usually just multi-joint. What is the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I would say that you want to be as functional as you can. So functionality, like, that's going to be like, okay, yeah, I can do a row while I'm sitting down and my back's supported, but can I do it when I'm standing up and I have to activate my core? I mean, when you're playing a sport, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to be able to use your core, activate your core, be doing something else while you're doing a row, like, within your sport. And, like, that's why you want to be as functional as you can. Maybe you start at a base, like, you're doing normal rows, and then you're going to challenge it and be like, oh, now I'm going to do an single leg RDL, and now I'm going to row. And that's more functional, and I feel like it applies more to the athlete, right? If you're able to be moving, maybe be on a single leg, and you're still able to utilize that muscle with power, with strength, that's going to be really important, and it's going to benefit you. And it's also going to keep you healthier if you're able to do this stuff at multiple joints, because you're never going to be doing isolated movements, almost never, depending on what sport you play while you're playing.
You have a lot of different teams, and you said the main focus is on trying to build good athletes, but obviously there is some certain specifications that come with every sport. How did you learn in your still very young career to like specify your workouts towards sports?
Yeah. First, you got to learn a little bit about the sport, because some of these sports that I'm working with, it was like, well, I never played that sport. I don't have a lot of experience. I got to figure out what are common movements that they do within that sport. And for me, like, my programs right now, where I'm at in my career, like, I'm thinking like 80-20 rule, which is like 80% of my focus is going to be like building a good athlete all around, making sure that we're hitting all the joints, we're going through all the movements every week. But that 20% is where you can get pretty creative and sport specific. like depending on the sport, like maybe it's volleyball, right? Like I think one thing that I did that was really sports specific last year is like we threw in a med ball drill where you had a partner throw it up and you're standing on the bench and you like spike it down. Like not only is it pretty fun to do, but it's sports specific and you're able to work with a partner, kind of like trying to mimic a set and a spike in volleyball. But the sports specificity, you can get super creative with that. Like that's what's really fun. I mean, not all my programs are going to be the same. I mean, you can go through all the different joints, all the different movements in different ways and get creative with it, but it's really fun. Like, I mean, I don't just come up with this stuff all myself. I'll be looking up for different drills and like seeing what other coaches have used and if it's been beneficial and if it looks like it worked out well. And then I'll try it out, and sometimes I'll try something out and I'm not sure if I like the way it looked, and then I'll take it out. But I'm always like excited, like that's what's really exciting, getting creative and like trying to find new ways to add in those sports specific movements, which is fun.
You just mentioned the fun. How big of a role does that play for you to try and make it fun?
I mean, you have to first like have a good foundation of like, yeah, we want to work hard in the weight room. Like it's not just like playtime in here. It's not just going to be all fun, but you can definitely have fun within the context of working hard and being efficient and having intent at what you do on every rep with your teammates and what you're doing. And that's why I like drills like that where you're using a partner or you're with your teammates, you're doing something with your teammates. It's engaging. It can be fun, and it can be fun. You can get a lot of work out of it. If it's done right, it's done with intent, and you're having fun. Great. I mean, if it gets to a point where you're having fun and drill gets sloppy, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe reset it here. But I think for the most part, like teams do a really good job of that. Like when it's fun, it's something different, it's engaging. They're able to have fun with it, and they're getting great work in, which is kind of like a great combo. If they're having fun and they're getting great work, then I know they're going to be motivated and ready to go.
I feel like at that point at college, when people come in the weight room, they know that they're in there to work. Like, I would imagine that they don't need outside motivation or anything. Would you say so?
I think that they understand that that's a key part of their success as an athlete. Most of them do. Occasionally, I mean, maybe it's an early morning. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to get them going a little bit. We're a little sleepy in here. But I think for the most part, the athletes that I work with on a day-to-day basis, like they're motivated. They know what's expected of them, and we, like our staff, does a great job of like making sure that everybody knows the standard and knows what is expected, and that's why they come in ready to work hard. But sometimes, I mean, that is part of the job. I mean, you want to be able to motivate people. And it's a hard like thing to learn. Like, how do you motivate people? Because it's not the same for everybody. I mean, not everybody's going to be motivated by me just yelling loudly. Like, sometimes it takes something different, which is kind of fun. And I think that's why relationships are so important, because you have to build some sort of trust between the athlete and the coach in order for them to trust you and know that you care, and then they'll care, if that makes sense.
How does the working in a team of strength and conditioning coaches look like?
It's really cool. I mean, we work together, but I mean, we all kind of have our different teams that we're responsible for, like programming wise, but it's all hands on deck. I mean, it's really nice to be able to have people by your side, especially like Coach Dick Herber and Coach Windler, like those guys who have been doing it for longer, and they have experience, and it's nice. They're in the same office. If I have a question, like I don't need to make a phone call if I don't have to. I can just turn around, hey, what do you think about this? And it's nice to have four guys working together, because we can have those conversations. I mean, whenever one of us might, I don't know if this will work good, well, we can ask about, have a conversation about it, and kind of see what the consensus is. So yeah, it's really cool, and we're together all day, which is great. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's a good team effort.
On the athletes, you said sometimes you have to motivate them more, sometimes not. I guess that's really normal. What I was wondering is if there's a difference in how good and really good players behave in the workroom.
I think that that's definitely a part of it. I think that like some people like stand out. I mean, some people will stand out in the weight room just like they do on the field, and then you're kind of curious. I mean, like, well, how are they on their actual sport? And it's not always like correlated directly, but I think a lot of times you'll see that it is, because if you're working really hard in the weight room, you're probably working really hard at your craft, at your sport. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it correlates for the most part, but it doesn't always. It's not like a unanimous thing.
But it's not like this guy, it's just like the mentality he brings into the weight room, you're going, okay, he's gonna be good.
Right. No, you never really know, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, until you get to see him play. I mean, you can hear from other people like, oh yeah, he's a good player, but I wouldn't say like I've just seen someone be like, oh yeah, they're probably really good.
Is the biggest benefit of working with strength and conditioning the injury prevention, or actually getting stronger and more flexible?
Yeah.
Or it obviously plays into each other, but does it make sense to point out one thing as the most important part, or not really?
I mean, it's hard not to say injury prevention, because I mean, it's so important to stay healthy. I mean, if you're gonna play sport, you have to be healthy. But I think it's a combination of the two. And I wouldn't say it's about getting athletes stronger. I would say, and in some cases it is, depending on where you're at and what your goals are and what's needed from you physically in order to make improvements in your sport. But it's about building better athletes. I mean, strength is one thing, but power within most sports is super important. Conditioning, how good a shape you're in, cardiovascular system, like that stuff, like depending on the athlete, it can differ. So I wouldn't say it's all about strength, but building a good athlete combined with injury prevention, I think, are two key focuses.
When we come into the weight room, what we see is just you guys having programs for us. We're working hard. You support all of that. What is part of your work that people that come in don't really see?
There's like simple like maintaining stuff like cleanliness. I mean, that side of things, which is quick. If we work as a group, me and Coach Quick, we'll get that knocked out once a week. But like behind the scenes, it's like it is kind of like I'm brainstorming like what my next block or what my next month is going to look like with the teams based off of what I've seen the previous couple weeks. You can get creative with it. I'll like a lot of times I'll do my programs on like Excel before I put them into Team Builder, depending on how it goes. Like sometimes I can just make adjustments on the fly. We use Team Builder, which is great. It's an easy way to switch things around, and like if an individual athlete has an injury or something, I can easily switch things around. But I would say just behind the scenes, like, yeah, a lot of brainstorming. Once I get some ideas in my head, then once I get some ideas in my head, it's easy for me to get things on paper from there. But some research, I try to stay up with like different research or books that are coming out, which there are a lot of. So, but yeah, I mean, there's no like one way to do things in strength and conditioning. That's why it's pretty cool. That's why I'm trying to look at how other coaches or how other people have ideas about strength and conditioning, because there's a lot out there. So yeah, I'm just trying to stay updated and keep getting better at what I do. Because I mean, yeah, I'm young in my career. I'm just a grad assistant here. So I want to get better. I just want to keep getting better. And I'm getting better by coaching and by being with my teams. But I'm also getting better behind the scenes by learning and brainstorming.
That sounds cool though, because really every part of it, whether it's more seen or not, is really something, at least from the sound of it, is pretty enjoyable to you.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a great position to be in, that really all the facets of the job are enjoyable to you?
Yeah, I mean it's long hours, but like I like what I do. Like I get excited like when my teams get in there and like if they're ready to go, like I'm ready to go. Like it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna get some good work in. I know how important it is to their success, so I have to take it as important too. Like so, yeah, I try to put in work behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I think that goes with anybody in any job who wants to be successful in what they do. Like it's not just what you do when people see you. If you're gonna be successful, there's stuff that goes on behind the scenes for any job, I think.
How does it feel when you see your team succeed or your athletes succeed?
That's probably one of the most fun parts of it. I mean, it's great. Like, it's never like you. I think it's more about because you have good relationships with them and you want to see them succeed. It's not really like I don't feel like, oh yeah, my program just won them this game. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. I just know that they are working hard and they want to succeed, and it's cool to see them succeed because like I care about it. So, and that's why this job's so fun.
At the very beginning, you spoke about all the different coaching styles and how there's so many approaches on how to go about coaching. Have you already found your approach?
I would say that my biggest goal was to like form good relationships and create good trust with any of the athletes that I'm going to work with, so that they know that they can go to me if they have a question or they need to see something demonstrated, um, and then I think that also helps build confidence in what I'm doing in the weight room. Like I have no problem helping somebody fix something because we have a good relationship, and I know that they would want to know. Like they want to know that if they're doing something wrong, I'm there to help them. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know exactly like what you would classify my coaching style is. I guess you'd have to ask other people on that one. But I know that I'm confident in what I do, and whatever I'm doing right now, I don't know if I'll change how I structure things in the future. I mean, I'll be at different places and meet different people, so I don't think every job there's one fit. Like it might differ from place to place.
About the future, what is your ideal scenario after you're done with school?
I'm not for sure on that yet. Like I don't know exactly like what teams I want to work with in the future. I really enjoy the teams that I get to work with now. Um, but the most experience I have is with working with football as well. So I take that into consideration. But honestly, I'm planning on like looking at a lot of different options. Like I'm really excited to once I get to that point to be able to see what's out there, what looks like a good location, and what looks like a good spot for me to be in. And I'm honestly not exactly sure what I'm looking for yet, but I think when I see it and apply for it, like I'll know at that point, hopefully.
There is strength and conditioning in athletics, also outside of athletics. Is it for you going to be athletics?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think it's much more, at least for now. I haven't experienced like any like personal trainings at like public gyms or anything like that, so I don't know for a fact. But I do know that I really like doing this and working with teams who have a common goal, creating a community and a team element, and getting to see them have success and play the sport that they love. It's just a great feeling. So I don't know. I couldn't really see myself working like in the public stuff, but they have like private sector stuff where like athletes will go train at a private facility, and there's options out there too. Um, but I'm not sure if that. I think I want to stay for a little while at least in college athletics. I like it a lot.
And you're cool with the hours?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. That's what I signed up for. Long hours, but it's rewarding work, and if you love what you do, I mean, you can sacrifice the long hours, so bring it on.
Do you have one favorite exercise?
Personally?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now I'm doing something called benchuary, so I'm benching every single day of the week for the month of February. So I did like to bench, but now I benched for 10 days straight. And I'm starting to be like, I don't know if this is my favorite exercise anymore, but we'll see at the end of the month. That would probably be my one. It's just, yeah, it's simple movement. It's fun. I like to do pull-ups are fun too. That's probably another one. It's a little different.
Okay, yeah. We can agree to disagree on
What's
that.
your favorite exercise, Lewis?
Definitely not pull-ups.
What about walking lunges?
What's my favorite exercise? I've never thought about that. I feel like whenever I do anything in the weight room, I just put my head down and do whatever.
Yeah.
I've never thought about
that's a good way.
what is enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to have a favorite exercise because, I mean, you want to do everything. So maybe a favorite workout would be better.
Yeah, and that's gonna be definitely not leg day for me.
Yeah.
But what's the favorite?
Same here.
No, it's yeah. I don't know. I think in my head it's so big that there's like, I'm like cool with the fact of going there and not having the time of my life, but I go there because I know it helps me, and then that's like the main thing for me. And whether it's more enjoyable or less enjoyable is kind of a secondary thing then.
Yeah.
I have a last point here, and that is going in two directions. And the first one is there any like myths or misconceptions about training strength and conditioning that are like blatantly obvious to you, but still in like a general public image of maybe even a collective thing of just working out, that are just like thoughts that people think, yeah, that's a good thing to do?
I would say that because I've only been in it for about 2-ish years, like I don't know for sure the misconceptions. Like I haven't seen enough. I mean, there are bad exercises out there, but
people know that they're bad.
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. I think that if you're going to do an exercise, the most important thing is that you're doing it with correct form. I mean, you go to the average gym, you're going to see a ton of stuff that's like, oh, man, but I'm not going to go say anything at a public gym. It's like, but yeah, it's like within the context of the weight room, you can clean that stuff easily, but yeah, there's a lot of common mistakes in form that you see every day. But nothing that I think, like most exercises, if you're doing it correctly, you're going to see some sort of benefit. And some might be weird and some probably aren't worth doing. But I mean, just moving the body around, like, it's important. I mean, just stay physically active, especially for the average person. Like, if you're doing something really weird, like, probably not going to judge you. Like, you're moving the body, it's good for you. Some stuff, you'll kind of turn your head and be like, ah. But other than that, like, physical activity is really good for the human body. So as long as you're not doing something really stupid, not gonna get mad.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of went into it already, but that was going to be the other part of the question, is if you'd have to like single it out, what would be the best advice you would give someone?
I think the biggest thing is like, it's not all about like, obviously you can go in and work hard, but like the whole other aspect is the nutrition aspect of it, and like what are you putting into your body. And I think it's important. I think that everybody should kind of look into what food and what type of diet and what type of structure is going to be most beneficial for the human body. And just off the top of my head, especially for athletes, like obviously protein is a big thing. Like that's going to be stressed, but get a complete meal in, like have some carbs, good carbs, whole wheat, have some color on the plate, fruit, vegetables, get your vitamins in. All of that stuff collectively is what helps your body recover and get to where it needs to be. Because if you're missing out on the nutrition aspect of it, you're missing out on all those gains that you just worked for. So I think, yeah, you have to stress the nutrition aspect of it as well, which is hard, like when you can't control that, because you can control like somewhat what's going on in the weight room and what people are doing, and you know they're working hard, but you can't control what people are eating on the outside. So I think that's a big thing to stress to people, is like, I'll give you this information, but it's on you in order to come up with a structure and a game plan so that you can get the most gains and get the most out of all the hard work that you're doing. And yeah, I mean, that's a personal thing that you got to take care of.
And in terms of the things happening inside the weight room, what's the biggest thing there?
I would say just make sure that like you're not focused on one thing. I mean, like I said, I'm doing benchuary. I'm benching every day. So like, okay, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. But I'm also doing other stuff. Like you don't want to just focus on one thing. You want to stay good, athletic, and you want to stay healthy. And to stay healthy, you got to be working all the joints, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, ankles, neck. I mean, everything works together as one. So make sure that you're not just overdoing it on one thing. Everything just kind of works together. You can have focus. You can have an upper body focus day, maybe lower body focus day. But don't be afraid to try something new where you can get your body moving in a way it hasn't before, because that type of stuff is helpful. It's just helpful for anybody. It keeps you healthy.
What was the best experience you've had working as a strength and conditioning GA?
Best experience. I mean, it was pretty cool when we got to go down to Texas and with the football team, they won the national championship. That was pretty awesome. I mean, once it gets to game day, like, I'm just a guy on the sidelines, like, I'll help out with the warm-ups, like, but then I get there, I get to watch football. I get to watch the guys compete, get to see what they put all that work in for, and getting to see it pay off was like, it was awesome. I mean, we were down there all week too, a lot of cool stuff on the side, but once you got down to the game, it was sweet.
How did that game go, actually?
It was a close game. It was a close game. It was scary, but in the end, they had like a onside kick, and they got it. And they had one play Hail Mary to win the game, and we knocked it down. National champs. So we got it done. It was a little scary there for a little while, but the guys worked hard all year, and they got it done in the end. So well deserved for the guys for sure.
Yeah, it's such a complete different position when you just have that target on your back for the whole year.
Yep,
and you're
because they were back to back.
Exactly.
There you go.
I have this question I always end the episodes with, and that is when you take all the experiences you've made in the last couple of years and everything that you just learned about yourself, about life, up until now, what would you tell a younger version of yourself that might not even or might start school right now to keep in mind and to remember going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, don't be afraid to try new things and be confident. Like, at some point you might fall flat in your face and something might not work out well, but you're going to learn so much from that, and you're going to be better for it. And especially in this field, like, there's not a perfect recipe. So it's important for you personally to be able to try new things, meet new people, be confident in what you do, and that confidence radiates throughout the team, because if you're confident, then they know that you know what's going on. They're going to listen. They're going to be ready to work. And I just think it's important to take chances and keep working, keep getting creative, keep trying new things so that you can keep getting better and better and better. That
Confidence and also this perception of trying new things, has that always been easy for you to do?
No, I don't think so. I mean, but once you get in the habit of it, it becomes easier. I mean, the first time you try something and you're like all nervous for it, but then you realize how much you just got out of it. And I mean, and those experiences kind of tell you like what to try and what not to try in the future too. And I think it just keep taking risks, and maybe the first time it's scary, but as you get used to it, like, you're going to be ready to try new things, and you're not going to be worried about the outcome because you know you'll be able to change it and adapt to it the very next day if you need to.
Cool. A lot of insight into what you're trying to
Yeah, I
do.
tried. I mean, I'm 2 years into it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to get better. So I love it. I know I want to do this stuff. So it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. I feel like you're doing a pretty good job, to be honest.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on today and
this is sweet, man.
having a hopefully good end to the work week.
Yeah. Hopefully you got some good content out of it. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that was really interesting, and yeah, I think very, very like knowledgeable stuff also for people that listen to it to think about and maybe to even implement.
Yeah, it's a whole different side of sports. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, that's why we do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The World of Sports. I hope this conversation sparked your interest in sports and the people behind it. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend and leave me some feedback in the comments. Once again, thanks for joining me in The World of Sports.